All right, hello. This is Melissa, your insurance exam queen, and we have a how to pass the insurance exam 101 class happening right now. I'm super excited to see you guys. I see some people who've been here before. I see some new faces. If you guys want to drop in the chat where you're at, what you're studying for, that would be awesome. Oh, honey, funny. There's a guy named Zach Ziglar reminds me of Zig Ziglar. And he's a cool dude who teaches a lot of awesome stuff. Rachel, she's out in Texas, Life and Health. Ah, Jen, I legit feel like I'm meeting a celebrity. I've been obsessed the last 2 weeks with your videos and your gold training. Yes, actually, what's really funny is the other day I actually opened up the phone lines. So randomly during the middle of one day, I opened up our phone so you guys could call in. And one of the last people to get through, she had called like 10 times. I was on the phone with someone else. She had called like 10 times and didn't get an answer because I was on the other line. But when she finally got on, she's like, oh my God, it's like speaking to Jesus. I'm like, don't compare. I see what you're saying. but I won't go that far. Okay. All right. We got all people. We got Florida, we got Virginia, we got Kentucky, Alabama. You guys are here and bringing it. That's awesome. First time studier in Nevada. Hello, Melissa. First time able to join since I started this. I'm from Washington State. I have the exam scheduled for August 5th, which August 5th, we're heading into August. August is my birthday month, which I'm super stoked about. My birthday is my favorite holiday. It is August 3rd. So this Saturday, it is my birthday. I am turning 37. Pretty sure, yeah, 37. Leo season. That's right. That's right. That's where the lion's at. It's Leo season. Yes, everyone
And I
take
got rid of this
third will
today.
pass their exam. That's what I'm sending out there. Okay, awesome.
Got immediately.
All right, so there is, okay, you want to make sure you check. I'm going to go through it real quick. You want to make sure you're muted unless you do want to say something, because otherwise we can hear you. All right, the waiting room is just filling up, filling up. We've got people coming in. So I'm watching the waiting room right now, making sure everybody who wants to come in is able to come in. So I'm just adding people right now. And oh my gosh, you guys are amazing. Birthday is August 14th. Yes. Happy early birthday. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, perfect. All right, I'm super excited for y'all taking this test. Okay, I've got some new ideas coming too. Like, I want to have an insurance inspiration. What did I call it? Oh my God, yeah, insurance industry inspirations. And I want to be able to bring people in the insurance industry to talk with you guys about what it's like in the insurance industry as you guys are heading into passing your exam. I want to have Testimony Tuesday where people are able to testify about what's been happening with their life with studying, passing the exam, and selling insurance. I am just on fire with ideas. And I want to let you all know, like, we are also full steam ahead on becoming state approved so that you guys can just get the insurance exam queen. You won't have to also buy another course, get the best upfront right away. So I'm super excited about that. And we are all aboard with doing that and making that happen. And we're really close. And I'm super excited. It won't be all 50 states right away, but we'll be going down the line, adding as many states as we can so that we guys can be state approved for you all. Okay. All right. We're going to go ahead and jump into it. We've got 95. Oh my gosh, the waiting room just keeps filling up. We've got 95 people in here. I'm super excited. This is one of the bigger, I love when y'all show up and you guys are happy, ready to pass the exam. All right, I'm going to share my screen here real quick. And we're going to just jump on into it. Oh, actually, yeah, wait, okay, wait, hang on. There's a cool, well, no, I'm going to leave it this way. No, that's not what I want to do. I want to pin the video. Okay. All right. Waiting room just keeps filling up. Come on in, y'all. Come on in. All right. So we're going to talk about how to pass the insurance exam 101 class. This will be the list of things that we're going to hit tonight. as we go through this presentation. And I first want to talk about why people struggle to pass. In the chat box, if you are struggling to pass, I would like you to put a number 1. So give me a 1 if you are struggling to pass the exam in the chat box. And I need to find my chat box. Everything moved around and disappeared on me. Yes, okay, we're getting 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got a lot of 1s coming in. If you are struggling to pass the exam, I completely understand. And let me just give you a little bit about information with me so that you can understand where I'm coming from. So I was a school teacher, teaching middle school social studies. That is what I was teaching most of my teaching career. But when I became, while I was going to college to become a teacher, I actually was an insurance agent. So that's how I have the experience of insurance. And then I also was a teacher teaching middle school social studies. And I actually went back and forth between wanting to sell insurance and wanting to teach because insurance had a lot of money, and I enjoy insurance. I enjoy talking about insurance, and I also loved teaching, and I just couldn't, I was like, how do I do both? And fortunately, I was able to find a job where I could teach about the insurance exam, and I could get back into making more money than what you can earn as like a public school teacher. And I was given a job. I was told that I would be able to teach about 2 to 4 days out of the month. I could teach a class, and they would hire me for about 48 hours or 24 hours. Like I would get 4 days worth of work. They didn't have a huge request for classes, but every once in a while they would have a class, and they would like me to be available for it. And I was a 1099 contractor. And they told me very minimal, maybe four classes a month, 4 days worth of work at $28 an hour. That's what I was told as I was coming into teaching the exam. I started teaching, and then they said, we have a request for you to fly out to a location. It was Haggerty out in Zoo. He wants his chair. 1 second. Let me get his chair. He's a king. He doesn't like sitting on the floor. Zoo is very bougie, very, very bougie. And I'm in a temporary office right now, and it doesn't have any soft carpet. So he's like, or a pillow or anything. Zoo, come here. And he's like, Mommy, you got to hold me on your lap or something. Okay. All right. If you guys watch any of my videos, you know Zoo. So anyway, I was promised, maybe 4 days a week work a month. And then they had me go out and teach a class in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I was given about 15 to 20 people, and I was given Monday to Tuesday to teach them. And then they had to pass the test by Friday. And we had a 100% pass rate. So every person that was with me in the class for 2 days was able to pass the exam the first time at 100% pass rate. And that was like, whoa, mind blowing to everybody. That was not something that really happened in insurance classes, people teaching the exam. 80% was like mind blowing. And so reaching 80% was difficult and hard. And I hit 100% pass rate. When that happened, everyone heard about it in the industry, and they started wanting live in-person classes with me. And there began my journey of actually flying all around the country to be able to teach people about passing the exam. And I actually have tattooed an airplane on my arm because I spent 3 years just traveling around, going from one insurance company to another, teaching these classes to new hires and having extremely high pass rates. And I got to work with people who were sitting there taking the test, but they had, an employer who was paying a live instructor to be there. One of the jobs that I did when COVID happened and I wasn't flying around was I started answering emails. And this is when I discovered the struggle of the everyday person who didn't have the opportunity for their insurance company to buy one of the best live in-person instructors. Most of you who are taking this test are like all by yourself, trying to do this alone, not having a ton of support. And it's such a struggle for people to pass. And so as I was answering emails one after another, and it's like struggle, 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 struggle. And I could see like what was causing people to have so many, issues is that generally you have to take a state approved course. Like I worked at Exam FX, but there's also Excel, 80 Banker, Kaplan, whatever. They're just not very good courses. The way that they're written is hard to understand. There's so much material that you have to go through. You don't know what's important, what's not important. The questions are all worded like they're written on another planet. And it's very difficult, and they're so boring, and it makes you want to pull your hair out, and it's such a struggle. And I was like, I've got to fix this. So I decided to actually go out on my own and start the insurance exam queen business. I was like, if I could get a YouTube channel, I can get myself to the masses and I can teach them this material in a way that makes sense, that's easy to understand. And so that is why I am here. I am here for you. The reason I started what I do and how I do it was because I saw that you guys were struggling to pass, and there was not a person out there that was really providing the adequate support that you guys needed. And so I started making my videos. Thank you, Sherelle. My sister's name is actually Sherelle. How cool is that? So here, let's talk about the struggle. I kind of already talked about this a little bit, but the traditional path of taking the exam is that you get a state approved course like Exam FX, Kaplan, 80 Banker, Excel, whatever. And you're told that you need to complete it and take practice exams until you consistently score 80%. Give me a 2 if this was you. If someone just told you, just keep taking the practice exams until you get an 80%. And give me a 2, 3, a 23 if this is not working for you and you continue to fail. Look at those 23s rolling in. Yes. Okay. So this is what we are told, and this does not work. It may work for some people. I mean, even a blind squirrel is going to find a nut every once in a while, right? It may work for some people, but it doesn't work for the majority of people. And that is why I am here, is to be able to help you out. Then you are told to take the state exam and fail, and you do not understand why you are failing because you did so well on the practice exams. You got an 80%. You should have been able to pass the state exam. And then you just continue to take practice exams and fail again, to a point where you might quit, feel like this is not for you. You're feeling like devastated, defeated, and you're like, this just isn't meant for me. I'm stupid. I'm done. And you quit. And that's where a majority of people end up. And that is, I want to save you from that. I want to rescue you from that. There is a better way. Why this doesn't work, and we again kind of already talked about this, the text is very hard to understand. It's mostly all reading. It's very boring. It doesn't tell you what's important, and you just get lost in these languages and these words that just really make no sense. They don't make no sense to you. And I get that. The language is very hard, very difficult. It's not common everyday words. I use common everyday words. Okay. The questions in the course are rarely similar to the state exam questions. Give me a 5 if you sat down to take the test and started answering questions and feeling like you didn't even study for the right course. So as you were reading the questions, you're like, this isn't even what I studied. It feels so foreign to you because it's like the questions that you did in your practice exams are not. Look at all of those 5s rolling in. Like, we need to count up these 5s. This is crazy. Okay. Now, when you go to take the state exam and you end up failing, it makes you doubt yourself, question if this is really for you. And this cycle is awful. And you lose hope, you lose motivation, and then you lose this job opportunity. How many of you, give me a 6 if you're like, I really need this job opportunity. I need to work in the insurance industry. I need to be able to make this money for my family. This is an amazing opportunity, and I could lose it because I cannot pass this exam. And so many people, look at all the 6s rolling in. Stephanie's feeling that way. Tyrene's feeling that way. Mary already lost her job because of it, because she couldn't be able to pass the exam. Well, I have some amazing news for you. And this is something that I live my life by, is nothing that is meant for me can be taken from me. So if it's meant for me, I will have it. And there are times where your first introduction to insurance may not be the best one. Learning about the insurance industry, you could be introduced to it by, anybody, letting you know, hey, there's an opportunity here. The first company you meet is usually not the best company to work for. It's just simply the first one that introduced you to the idea that insurance is a career. So if you have lost a job, you didn't lose anything, because again, you cannot lose anything that is meant for you. If it's truly meant for you, it can't be taken from you. So use this as an opportunity to say, now I've been introduced to the insurance career. Now I can take the time to find a job that works for me. And you can study better knowing what to do. So I have the solution for studying and passing the exam. And right now, that is when you pair your state approved course, Excel, Kaplan, 80 Banker, you pair those videos with my gold videos. You focus on learning versus testing. In fact, I will tell most of you, just stop practice testing. You've practice tested yourself on repeat. It's not working. Just stop practice testing. Then you go to take the state exam and pass with a 90% first time pass rate when you pair my gold class series with your state approved course. Because right now I replace a big chunk of the reading. So all the reading that you have to do about dwelling policies and homeowners policies and commercial policies, about term life policies, whole life policies, all that reading that you have to do, we can replace it with my videos. And you can learn from me teaching in ways, it's fun and engaging videos. I focus on the most tested topics. So when you look at your book or in book, online course, whatever, when you look at the material that you have to study and read, none of it tells you what's important, what will actually show up. Like if you think about it, you probably have your reading material is like 300 to 400 pages. You may have like an online course where you're just scrolling forever or clicking next, but it's probably like 300 or 400 pages. They're going to ask you, 150 questions. The math on that alone says, like, when you're reading one page, only one sentence of what you're reading can actually show up on the exam. So what I like to do is I like to make sure that you know what is actually going to show up. And that is what I cover in my videos. And if you know the material well enough, you can answer any type of question that they ask you about. So one of the biggest struggles is you get so comfortable with the practice questions that when you see the state exam questions, which are worded differently, you can't even understand it. It just feels so weird. If you just don't work on questions and you just simply work on learning and understanding, any question that you get, you can answer it and be able to pass. Okay, so I wanted to share with you, Estefani left a review. And by the way, we have over 2,000 5-star reviews. If you go to Excel, they've got like 200 and it's like a 2.7. You go to ExamFX, I think it's like a 3.4 and like only 100 people left a comment. Like we, here at the Insurance Exam Queen, we make sure that you get what you need. And so many people want to tell other people. And that's why we have over 2,000 5-star reviews. That is not normal in the industry. Most people will leave a comment on these state approved courses like they think it's a scam, that it's ripped them off because it doesn't help them learn the material that they need. And then you got to pay these the renewal fees, and the customer service, they don't really help you. Like it's such a struggle. So when you find a company that actually helps you, that you can actually work with, that actually understands your struggle and is providing you with a solution, people are eager to leave reviews. Okay. So she says, I passed after 4 times of failing. I purchased the gold package and passed. Okay. So she got gold. I highly recommend buying the gold package before your first try. So if you have not yet tried to pass the exam and you want to make sure you pull off that first time pass, gold is definitely one of the ways that can help you achieve that. I don't guarantee it because I can't guarantee that you guys sit and watch my videos. But if you do sit and watch my videos, if you take those notes, if you're asking questions in the Facebook group, you're putting yourself in a much better position to be able to pull off a pass. All right. Now, one of the biggest things also that I have found is that you guys are so stressed out about studying for this exam that you're not excited to pass. In fact, you spend more time being afraid of failing than you spend time being excited to pass. When you sit down to study, when you're sitting down to watch the videos, you need to do that with excitement in your blood. You need to do that holding the vision of what this career opportunity is going to do for you. So rather than spending time thinking about losing it and worrying and doubting if you could actually do this, you've got to harness the good feelings of what's going to happen when you pass, when you're working in this career. So you need to close your eyes and skip ahead to the future you that has passed the exam and is living in this career and making more money than they ever have before. And you've got to tap into those feelings and use that to lead you into your study session. If you start your study session being, oh my God, none of this makes sense, I'm going to fail, this is awful, and that's how you sit down to start studying, do you think any of the information is actually going to stick in your head? No. So you have to decide that what is meant for you cannot be taken from you. So remove any pressure about needing to pass in order to have this job. Because if you need to take it again and get a different job, that's available. Even if you, in some states, you're only allowed to take it a certain number of times, you can take a different test. Like if you keep failing the life and health test and you'd maxed out on your attempts, just take the life test, just take the health test, take the property and casualty test, just get into insurance somehow, some way. There is ample opportunity in all the different ways. So what is meant for you cannot be taken from you. So remove the pressure that I have to pass in order to get this job. Tap into the future you that has passed, that is working in the career, that is receiving the amounts of money you want to receive, and use that energy as you head on in to passing the exam. I have 2 audios that you can listen to on YouTube. One is the studying mindset, and you listen to this every time you sit down to study. And then we have the about to test motivation. And actually, I made a new one recently. I made it at the very end of our boot camp, and it's called Getting Pumped to Pass. And it's a new one that I recently made. And you can listen to that right before you take your test. You've got to be excited. And I have a few different reviews. These are just the quick ones that I grabbed of people saying that listening to that motivational study is one of the reasons that they were able to pass. I was so nervous, but listening to this right before your test meant everything to me. Don't you dare take that test without listening to her pre-exam meditation. So it works, it's powerful, and it's one of the ways that you can help set yourself up to be able to pass. Whether or not you get my gold class series, this is available to you on YouTube, and you can just simply be excited to be able to pass, and it will carry you so much further. The other thing is that when it comes down to actually studying, you want to know your state's most tested topics. So this is very important that and if you get my gold class series package, any of them, bronze, silver, gold, I will teach you the most tested topics. But like you could see specifically which chapters, what percentage of the test will this chapter be? Because like, again, your test is, like 100 to 150 questions. 10 of them will come from a certain chapter. 20 of them will come from another chapter. If you know which chapters have the most amount of questions, you can make those chapters your biggest focus, and you can skip other chapters that are not very fun. Like taxes. You don't need to know taxes very well for the life and health exam. You can bypass taxes. Commercial in most states for property and casualty, you can be very like, I did not know commercial for a while, even as I was heading into teaching. And I would just blow past it and be like, you don't need to know this. You don't need to know this. And it proved true. I was still able to get high pass rates by telling them not to focus on commercial, because you don't have to know commercial that well. So right now, everybody can find their own state exam outline. If you go to your testing website, Pearson, Prometric, PSI, somewhere on that website is the outline, but it can be tricky to find if you don't know exactly what you're looking for. So one of the things that I did was I put every outline for every state exam in our Facebook group. And if you're not in our Facebook study group, you should definitely join our Facebook study group, ask questions, get support. Just search Insurance Exam Queen on Facebook and you will find it. You do have to answer all of the questions. And our secret word is zoo. And you have to put hashtag state, hashtag exam, so that we know you're a real person studying for the exam, and then you can join the group. Lisa, I have had people make one just so that they can join. But if you don't have one, you don't have one. Right now, I'm a geriatric millennial. I like my Facebook. I don't understand the Instas. I don't understand nothing else. I'm on Facebook. So that's where my study group is at. Jen K, Wisconsin, best $97 I've ever spent. I legit didn't even hesitate after watching a free video. I went to the website and ordered and have been glued since. Oh my gosh, yes. All right, Mackenzie, can someone pass if they focus on your videos without paying attention? It actually does depend on your state. Some states are very heavy in state law. Like when we're talking about your exam content outline, some states like Washington, 30% of the exam is state law. Arizona, only 5% of the exam is state law. So it just depends on how heavy the state law is. At this time, currently, I'm sorry, I don't have state-specific information, but we are working on it. But again, even without the state-specific information, people who use gold report back to us that they've got a 90% first-time pass rate. Okay, learning versus practice testing. You want to make sure that you are learning the material versus practice testing. If you're spending time quizzing and testing and you're not seeing successful results, stop. Just stop with the testing. Focus more on learning versus testing. I had a video that I put up on YouTube that said one of the myths about studying for your insurance exam is that you should take the practice test over and over again. And I had comments on the YouTube channel that agreed with me. I completely agree. I did not see a single test question that on the exam that was the same. Michelle, and then she said she had exam FX. She said some questions were close, but never identical. And then Jasmine, she said the same thing, that her questions, the state exam is nothing like the questions, but reading the answers explained helps a ton. So she was able, when she was doing her practice test, she would focus more on the explanation of why that answer was correct or incorrect than knowing that B was the exact answer. One of the big things to do also is handwrite your notes. So if you're just using my YouTube videos, anything that you're using, if you are handwriting those notes, it's going to help implant the information into your brain. I recently ran across an article a while ago written by Jonathan Lambert, and it says, why writing by hand beats typing for thinking and learning. And it basically says that when you're writing, it forces you to process the information. So I know, like, you're sitting there, you're receiving, you're hearing, you're learning all this information. As you stop to take time, and what's so amazing about recordings instead of live in person is you can hit pause. So like, okay, I need to write the definition Melissa just gave. I can pause the video and write that definition, and it's going to allow your brain to process that information so much better and put it into your head. So please write down your information, write your notes. Also, listening to the videos on repeat. Last night we had a testimony. I did a random meet with me in Zoom last night because I actually thought I was teaching this class yesterday, and I got all ready to teach class, and then I realized I was on the wrong day. So I had just put out meet with me on Zoom, and Marcy had come in, and Marcy said, I listened to the videos on repeat. I was in the shower listening to the videos. I was driving, listening to the videos. I was cleaning, I was listening to the videos. I was cooking, I was listening to the videos. And then she would come back to her course text, and whatever course she had, I don't remember, she would read it after listening to the videos and then like allow herself to sync up the information. And it made a lot more sense to her. So listening to the videos is so super crucial, so key to being able to pass the exam if you've been struggling to pass. There are some, just like there are a few people who could just simply take the practice tests and be able to pass the exam. Very few people could listen to Gold or any of the videos one time and be able to pass. If you're an audio learner, it definitely helps. But if you're a learner who learns with their hands, or you're a learner who it learns differently than if you're a visual, well, visual learners actually get a lot from Gold because I draw everything out and I make charts of everything and I use visual pictures to represent what is happening. That I think is something that is definitely missing inside the state approved courses that exist out there right now, the Kaplan, the Excel, the 80 Banker, there's not a lot of visual instruction. I teach visually. I use charts and graphs and all kinds of drawings. And Jen just says, when I study, I think of your drawings. I can see them in my head. Rashina, when you log in at the top, there's a little profile. If you click the profile, one of the drop downs is billing. You can click that and then change out your credit card. Okay, so listen to the videos on repeat. Another big thing is trust yourself. Trust yourself, trust yourself, trust yourself. This kind of goes back to what we talked about earlier. If you're doubting yourself to be able to pass the exam, and you go into studying with doubt, you're not going to retain information. So you really got to get excited to study and pass, and you've got to trust yourself as you're heading into the exam. We are energetic beings more than we are physical beings, but no one is taught that. If you go in with the energy, the energy of how you do things will determine the result. So like if I go into the exam with the energy of, I've got this, I'm excited, this is going to be amazing, I'm much more likely to have a passing result than if I head into the testing center, oh my God, this is scary, this is terrifying, I'm not going to be able to pass, I don't remember anything, everything just left my brain, like, oh my God, that's not going to serve you. Okay. You have to psych yourself out into the other way. You have to decide, you have to make a decision that you will not focus on your fear, your worry, and your doubt, and that you will trust yourself. So many of us have wounds from our school. I was a teacher. I remember in the school system teaching kids how awful and bad it was to fail and how failing is like the worst thing ever. I remember being a part of that. And I feel like so much of what I'm doing as the insurance exam queen is my karma. I have to fix the damage that I have done to children in school by telling you now that failing is not the worst thing in the world. Failing is simply a part of learning, of growing and evolving. Seeing the word fail doesn't mean you yourself are a failure. You have to detach that meaning you have with that word. It's not. When you fail the exam, you get a score sheet. That score sheet is your map. Now you have a map. Now you know what it is you have to go after. But if you see that fail and you decide that it means something about yourself, we've got to fix that. And I have an entire playlist on YouTube called Mindset. And it's all about putting you in the right mindset so that you can feel good about studying, you can feel good about testing, and you can trust yourself as you're heading on into the testing center. One of the biggest things that people will always ask me is, what should I cram the night before the exam? Nothing. You should relax the night before the exam. Now, if you have an exam in the afternoon, like it's at like 5 p.m., like if you have your exam in the morning, relax the night before the exam. If you have your exam in the afternoon, relax before the exam. The energy of cramming says, I'm not ready. The energy of I can relax says I am ready. It says I've got this in the bag, okay? And again, one of the best things you can do for yourself is go for gold. It's available on our website. It's $97. It's all the most common, most tested topics in video format that teaches you the material in a way that you can understand. And we have, again, so many 5-star reviews saying that going for gold was the best thing they have done. I know many of you are like, I don't have a lot of money. How much money do you have to keep paying retest fees? How much time are you spending studying material that doesn't make any sense? When you decide that you can invest in yourself to be able to stop wasting time studying, to stop paying retest fees, to stop paying renewal fees, if you say, I'm just going to go for gold and I'm going to make this happen, so many people saved money. They saved money because they didn't have to continually pay retest fees. They didn't have to continually spend hours and hours and hours and hours studying. They were able to pass and quickly get it. The gold is available for 100 days. So when you buy it, you have 100 days access. Most people only need 2 to 4 weeks to be able to pass the exam. And gold was designed to teach you, like, again, I used to go to insurance companies and I would teach on a Monday and a Tuesday and people were passing by Friday. What I did at those companies is what I have put into gold. Teach you all the material, passing by the end of the week. So it is my talent to be able to get you to pass quickly. Okay. We do not have, we don't offer payment plans, but if you need a payment plan, you can do bronze, which is 27. So bronze is 8 hours of video that teaches you the information as like a quick review. And if you're scoring somewhere, but like if you keep failing, but you're like at a 65 to a 69, bronze may be all you need. I just need Melissa to give me a quick rundown of all the most tested topics. That's what bronze is for. If you buy bronze and you feel like you need more later, you can upgrade to gold for just the price difference. So I never make you pay twice for the same thing. Christina, she says, I found the insurance queen, purchased gold, listened to every video, and 4 days I passed. Kimberly says, you are brilliant at what you do. Your gold package was worth every cent, even though I only had 3 days left to study when I got it. So she didn't even necessarily go through everything, but she went through as much as she could. Rachel says she makes insurance easy to understand. I watched all the free videos and then purchased gold. Those study notes and live classes were gold. Tatiana, I purchased gold plan last minute effort the night before, and she passed with an 89%. Okay, so she didn't even get to watch every single video. Okay, all right, so that is what I have to share with you guys. Sometimes I open the floor and ask questions, but I have not been able to hang out with David all day today. So, and I fell asleep with the baby. I went to put her down for a nap at around like 3 o'clock, and she nurses. And so I was laying down, she's laying down, and we passed out for the last 3 hours. David barely woke me up with enough time to make sure I could come and sit here and teach class. And so I did not really get to hang out with David today. So I'm going to end class today. I love you guys all. I know there's more questions. Any classes we've got on the calendar, I don't yet have any boot camps on the calendar, but if we do have any classes coming up, they're all listed on the website. So insuranceexamqueen.com, all the live classes are listed there. And then Dale is out of office for the next 10 days. So I'm not sure when he's going to have another class. But Dale is amazing with, I think he's teaching next week, or I'm not 100% sure, but I know we don't have anything on the schedule yet for, he did this amazing like 2-week study program where everyone would show up at the same time and he would work with them through the material. And they felt like they built an entire family, and it was so sad for them to be done. But that was amazing. Amy, gold is the best. If you can get $97 gold, that's perfect. We do have the quizzes and the exam bundle that you could pay a little bit more for if you want extra practice questions, but gold, 97 gold is perfect. Chef's kiss, it's amazing. We only threw in those quizzes and exams because so many of you guys asked for them. I was like, fine, we'll give them some quizzes and exams. But I am all about the videos. Silver is about 14 hours worth of video. It's a little bit of a deeper review of the material. And we'll work on getting some game nights. I know Angela is going to be offering game nights every Friday now, every 3 Fridays out of the month. She's going to be offering some game nights. I know you guys love the game nights. You guys can play the games on your own though. So on the website, insuranceexamqueen.com, if you go to resources, you can play the Kahoot games. You do have to create an account on Kahoot, but it doesn't, you don't have to pay anything. You can play them all for free. So you guys can pay those yourself. It's like having practice tests in a game format. So it's super fun. All right. I want to read all your guys' comments and answer all your questions, but I got to go take care of the baby and David and hang out with them. So I am sending you guys all the loves and all the vibes to pass the exam. You guys have an amazing day, and come check me out in the Facebook group. I love you all. Bye. 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 Where's my, my Zoom meeting buttons are all over the place. All right. Love you. Bye.